Hello everybody, it's the Bricklord here, back with another Ninjago video, and I know this is one that I'm pretty sure many of you have been waiting for me to put out, but it is my Island Thoughts and Review. I have finally just finished watching the Island in French with English subtitles. With that being said though, as a disclaimer, obviously it's Ninjago being translated from French to English with subtitles, and obviously the translation is not perfect, it never has been and probably never will. But I will do my best to give my thoughts on everything that we saw and with the best of translation that we had. Otherwise, though, sorry I didn't put this out yesterday. Yesterday was pretty important for me in my personal life because it was my dad's birthday, and so I was celebrating that with him over making YouTube videos, obviously. But, better late than never, as they say. But otherwise, though, hope you guys are excited to hear my thoughts on this. And so, yeah, we're just going to dive right in, and I'm going to give you all of my in-depth thoughts and review over the entire island that we saw. And yeah, so not a whole lot else to say. We're just going to dive right into me talking all about the new island. And the last thing before we get started is the warning of spoilers. Please turn back now if you do not want any spoilers of Season 14, The Island, because this video and review will contain spoilers of stuff that happens in the island. Once again, please turn back now if you do not want any spoilers or any knowledge of Season 14 besides what has been seen in the trailers. So yes, just a last warning, but for those of you staying, we're going to dive right in right now. Alrighty, so we're just going to dive right into talking all about the island. The first thing I'm going to talk about is just my overall thoughts, kind of what I thought about it, and yeah. So as for just my overall thoughts on how good the island was and kind of how it compares to all the other Ninjago seasons that we have, the island is fine. I will definitely put it that it is fine. Now, I definitely do want to listen to it in English to get a little bit more of everything that was said to give a full judgment. But as of right now, what I can say is it was fine for what it was. But obviously the length, as I mentioned before, that it being only 4 episodes worth of length is definitely going to be a downer and was going to hurt this. And I was right. I wish there was definitely more time that we saw, in the island as a whole. But, I mean, for the 40 minutes that we got worth of the island, it was fine, but definitely not amazing. And it definitely, obviously is not going to beat out top tier seasons in people's, ranking list, including mine. So that's kind of my opinion on where it stands. But let's just kind of dive right into kind of all the things that happen, just plot-wise. I mean, the ninjas basically learn that, Wu, Misako, and Clutch Powers and stuff, their expedition has gone missing. And the ninjas basically say, okay, we got to go after them. And then, so, they kind of do some research on the guy, the explorer, Twitchy Tim, I believe is what his name was, still is. Or I think we saw in subtitles Timothy, but I think it's Twitchy Tim. They go to recruit him, and he tells them all these things that, all these dangers and stuff, and that he's been struck by lightning 12 times, and all these other crazy things. But yeah, so then the ninjas basically are on the bounty, heading towards this uncharted island protected by a storm, and they basically then use the catamarans and get onto the island, and then also what is Lloyd's jungle chopper bike set, they use those, and the ninjas start exploring the island, and then they kind of, are going around, they encounter Zippy, the jungle dragon and stuff, and then the ninjas end up getting kind of, they find the stone golem, and the stone golem starts attacking them, as it did for the early expedition of Wu and Misako and stuff, and then the ninjas basically get split up where Twitchy Tim and Lloyd end up somewhere else, and the other ninja get captured by the keepers and taken to their basically fortress hideout. And then while the ninjas are captured, Jay is kind of taken as, I guess, a prisoner, supposed to be king, in big quotes, and the other ninjas are prisoned up, and they do find Wu and Misako and Clutch Powers and stuff, and then they kind of are learning more about the amulet and kind of why the keepers, that they're there to protect it and stuff, and eventually, Jay is sent out to be a sacrifice, which we did predict that they would try to sacrifice Jay to Wochira. And, here is the big spoiler. As we saw in the trailer, there was kind of the head of what looked like a creature, and it was shooting fireballs and stuff. And as we now learn from watching the island, and here are big spoilers, like I mentioned, so obviously if you're here, you don't care, but the big creature that we saw was a fake, and it was actually made by who was kind of the villain of this scheme was Ronin and prisoners from Cryptarium. And yeah, so they basically used it to get Keeper's treasure from them. They basically used it, and the Keepers would basically sacrifice treasure and food and other things to it. And yeah, the Ronin was basically depleting the Keepers of all their wealth, and he was using a fake monster to scare them. So yeah, then the ninja find out and stop Ronin and the thieves at basically the end of the island. And that's kind of mostly about it. What I basically said is the major plot. At the very, very end of the island, though, we do get where they talk about the real sea like creature, and then we actually dive deep down in the ocean, and we see a creature with what looks like to be the other amulet from the leaks of the season 15 sets on its head, and basically proving that season 15, is right around the corner, and that season 14 is definitely connected, and we need both to work together. And that now really concludes the whole plot of season 14 of The Island. I'm not a huge fan of the whole Ronin being the villain deal. I actually liked Ronin after, season 5, when he was a ninja ally, but, oh well, they did what they did. But as for a whole rating and ranking of the island, I will do an updated list, maybe now that I've watched it, but I also might wait until the English episodes just so I have a full 100% knowledge and honest opinion. This is just watching it after very poorly translated English subtitles, but I'll decide here soon. But as for kind of a rating and a ranking, like I said, it's okay. I think, though, as I mentioned before, that when we got leaks that it would only be 4 10-minute episodes, it was very worrying that, yes, this is not probably going to be the best installment because it's basically as long as Day of the Departed. But with that said, I do think that The Island is pretty decent. It's definitely not better than the full-length seasons. It's just not. But as for where it would sit for me, probably right above, where season 10 is. It's probably better than most of the short stuff that we've got, and obviously miles better than season 11, but it's definitely not better than full-length season, so that's kind of roughly where it'll sit as of now. As for sort of a rough estimate of, ranking it out of 10, probably around, 6 or 6.5, something like that. But yeah, otherwise, though, that's pretty much all of my thoughts and review on The Island. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really don't have a whole lot else to say now. I think that really about covers it for now. I will do some kind of more in-depth stuff when we get kind of English versions and the episodes are split up, and I will do episode reviews and everything like that. But as of now, this was just the whole in-depth first thoughts after watching it. But yeah, not a whole lot else to say though. So with that said, I thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys liked it, you can hit that like button below. Also turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything from me, as well as subscribing. And yeah, I do want to mention I do have my own Discord server. The link to that will be in the description below. Otherwise though, yeah, not a whole lot else to say. So once again, I do thank you all for watching this video. And yeah, without holding up any more of your guys' time, I will see you all in the next video. So bye!